I went off the birth control pill, and I didn't end up getting my period for about 2.5 years after that. So I went on this whole journey into what is going on with my body, into hormonal health, into building a relationship with my body again, becoming sober, starting to understand my cycle, starting to understand how it could naturally get my period back again. And every single doctor that I went to told me that it wasn't possible. I had to go back on the pill, and that was the only way that I could bleed again. And I felt so disconnected from my body, and I felt so lonely. And I know that so many women feel this way, and so many, like I talk to countless women in the work that I do that experience the same thing. It's almost like our experience is not being validated. When we go into a gynecologist's office or we go into a doctor's office, we're told that we're being emotional. It's our emotions, or we're told that, oh, it's just anxiety. But we're not told that there's a lot of contributing factors to why we might be having these symptoms. So it was very empowering for me to go through that journey and eventually getting my period again. And that is a story that I tell a lot of my clients, or I speak about. There's a lot of nuances within that journey, but I really believe that that was one of the moments that really helped me to understand, like, okay, there's a deeper current and a deeper wisdom within my body, and it's not just my mind. There's something that's biological, that's ancestral, that is connecting with me on a daily basis. And from that moment, I really started to dive into all the different practices. Everything from acupuncture, yoga, meditation, many different practices, different herbal remedies, diving into nervous system regulation, somatics, and it really assisted me in starting to build that connection again.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that story that I feel like you said so many women can relate to. And it's amazing to hear that despite whatever the external feedback was, that you had the courage to feel that inner knowing and follow it. And then go through that process, which I'm sure was not easy, taking those baby steps to start making those changes to then have this shift in your life. So that's huge. And I really acknowledge you for that. And, one of the things I'm wondering is, like, if there's a woman or, maybe a young lady who's listening to this podcast right now, and she's thinking like, oh my gosh, Gia's talking about me like that. That's something that I'm experiencing, or I have experienced. You mentioned these various practices. What could be like a next action that they could take? Whether it's a practice or something that you would guide them to do in that circumstance.
There's so many beautiful practices to do, and I think that it's really good to not get lost in just the practice. Definitely something that I guide my clients through is very simple practice of reconnecting to the senses. So closing your eyes and allowing yourself to come back into your body. And that's extremely difficult for a lot of people. Guiding through the senses. What are 3 things that you can smell? 3 things that you can taste? 3 things that you can hear? I'm really guiding a deep belly breath into the pelvis and starting to come into more softness. We are constantly bombarded in our daily lives with information, and I know it can be quite difficult to move out of that. So a practice like this can really assist us in starting to understand what we need in that moment. So maybe we don't necessarily need to meditate, but maybe we need to move our bodies in a way that feels good. Move our bodies in a way that our body is asking us to. Maybe we want to sigh or make a noise and allow ourselves to sound, which helps to regulate the nervous system. Maybe we're really desiring to go lay on the grass outside and just lie in the sun and breathe in the fresh air. So I think that there's a lot of practices that we can look up on YouTube and online and we can go to teachers for, but we are actually the teachers. And I think that that is what embodiment teaches us a lot of the time, is that sometimes just listening to our body is the practice and can actually be the most powerful and profound. So definitely just allowing yourself to have those moments of stillness to really go in and listen, and allow yourself to listen to that knowing, listen to that inner nudge. And maybe this looks like you journaling what's coming through for you down on paper. Maybe this looks like you talking about it. Maybe this looks like you creating art with what's coming through, and allow yourself to be in whatever realm that your body is guiding you into.